Hey folks, this is Kalani. The Dragonflight Prepatch is finally in full swing. Phase 2 has started, which means we have access to the brand new class and race, the Dracthea Evokers, including a big new introduction storyline and a new zone on the Dragon Isles that we can play through right now. We have other quest lines that introduce us to the Dragon Isles, how we're going to get there, and what this adventure could be like, as well as special Prepatch events, a gear vendor, a new dungeon, huge changes to leveling, and new ways to get some very shiny rewards. There's a lot to do for the last 2 weeks of the Shadowlands expansion, so let's break it all down and see what's changed in Phase 2 of Prepatch and what you can get done before Dragonflight launches for real. Before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. The first thing I'm sure everyone is going to do is create your Dracthea Evoker. This brand new class race combo is now available to play on live servers, so you can hop on, jump into that character creation with all of the crazy options that you have, watch 6 hours fly by as you tinker around with all the options, and then eventually get yourself in game and work through their introductory experience, which I think is actually one of the better ones we've had. There's great story elements, there are a lot of hidden lore tidbits, it teaches you how to play the new class quite well, and then it also sets up the entire expansion and the new big bad. There are even quite a few cinematics to really get you hyped up. I really enjoyed this entire questline, and I can't wait until the 28th when we get the entire Dragonflight experience. This is also the first time a lot of folks will actually get to play around with a dragon riding feature, and oh boy, if you enjoyed the Saw racial ability, you are going to absolutely love what we can do with the fully fleshed out dragon riding system, and that's without even taking into consideration the talent tree that we get to work through. It's going to be great. Now remember, you do need to pre-purchase Dragonflight to be able to make your Dracthea Evokers and play them right now, so if you haven't done that yet, that's probably why you don't have the option, or it won't let you make a Dracthea. Just something to consider if you do plan on playing Dragonflight no matter what, but you haven't gotten around to pre-ordering yet. With your Dracthea created and the intro questline done, there is actually another questline that we have access to in this phase of the pre-patch. When you log into any of your characters, you should get a quest to go talk to Abyssian for the Horde or Rathian for the Alliance. These quests are very simple and straightforward, with starting the Dragon Isles expedition. So, we're going to need adventurers, explorers, smart people, you know, the usual kind of folks you want when you're delving deep into unknown territories. You get caught up with the whole Dracthea situation and who these new scaly folks are, we learn a few extra tidbits of story, there are a few cinematics, and even Khadgar has made his grand return. We also get to know a little bit about what he's been up to. This questline gets you ready to just jump straight into the Dragon Isles when they become available, so if you just want to go right as the expansion opens up, you should get these quests out of the way before the 28th rolls around. Now, I do have some concerns regarding this. These quests will leave you with the Horde Zeppelin Tower just outside of Orgrimmar if you play Horde, or they leave you at the docks of Stormwind for the Alliance. The next step is to basically take a transport, a Zeppelin or a boat, to the Dragon Isles, and then we'll continue on after that. So when the expansion goes live on the 28th, those transports will pull in for the first time and take our adventurers to the Dragon Isles. All at the same time. Potentially millions of players, all in one spot, all waiting for the same boat or Zeppelin, then millions of players on the same loading screen, trying to load into the same zone, all at the same time. There isn't even a delay with clicking on an NPC or anything because we're all on the same boat, so we're all going to hit that loading screen at the exact same time. I don't know about you, but I remember everyone trying to load into Icecrown at the start of Shadowlands. I say try because it didn't really work all that well. I also remember everyone trying to start the Battle for Azeroth scenarios at the same time, and that didn't really work that well either. So I am a little nervous that we will all be in the same spot, going to the same place at the exact same time, but maybe they'll do it right this time? Right? There's hope, right? Our server won't just die on launch like it usually does. I need someone to tell me it's not going to break this time. But anyway, get those questlines done so you're all ready for Dragonflight when those transports swing into port. Now the other big thing is the new pre-patch event. If you open up your world map, you should be able to see various elemental storms that are going on. If you pop on over to those zones, several areas are being invaded. Extra monsters will be spawning, and any mobs in the immediate area will also be empowered. All of these mobs have a chance to drop a new currency, Primeval Essence. That's kind of all there is to do for the majority of this event, but every so often a special event will start where a big elemental spawns, and you need to kill monsters around it to break its elemental shield. After that, you can kill the big elemental itself, giving you even more currency, a chance at some loot, as well as a chance to get a rare item that you need to combine to create a new heirloom trinket. There are 4 types of elemental invasions or storms, so you need to collect this rare item from one of each type to combine into the new trinket. So double check what kind of storm is in each zone before you head out, just to maximize your chances of getting the items that you still need. The main use for the event currency is to buy things from the event vendor. Most of the stuff on this vendor can also drop from the big elemental itself, so there's double chances to get this stuff. You can find this vendor at the Zeppelin Tower just outside of Orgrimmar for the Horde, or for the Alliance he should be on the dock where the intro questline finishes. The gear is item level 252, so not amazing for anyone who has actually been playing throughout Season 4 of Shadowlands, but for the new Evokers and any fresh alts, it's a good kickstart for your gearing adventures. Now the transmog is also kind of cool. It's actually the same transmog as what we will see from leveling gear in the Dragon Isles, so while it is new, it won't be for very long, but it is a recolor of that leveling gear, so it's still kind of unique in a small way. So if you like the color options available from the vendor, you'll need to collect a lot of Primeval Essence to buy and unlock every single piece. There are pieces to cover every slot, so it's an easy way to gear up in the pre-patch event. Then we also have the Bag of Furious Winds toy and our very first reagent bag. This is a 20 slot reagent bag which is specifically for holding profession and crafting related items, so that's going to be great to have going into the Dragon Isles. We can upgrade that later on, but starting with any bag at all is going to be great, and it's going to be way better than nothing, and it will probably fill up quite quickly as you level up anyway. But that's kind of it for the event. Outside of the big elemental spawns, there isn't that much to do, which is a bit of a shame, but honestly, we do have so many other things to keep us busy in this phase of the pre-patch, so it's not that big of a deal. And then the other big new thing that you can do right now is run the revamped Alderman dungeon. This gives you an early taste of what Dragonflight dungeons can be like, considering it's going to be a Dragonflight dungeon as well, and it's also a redesign of a pretty old dungeon at this point, so there's a good jolt of nostalgia in there too. The dungeon is pretty fun with lots of new bosses, new mechanics, lots of new treasures, and a lot of hidden story details that could be very relevant as we head into Dragonflight. Another useful point is that the dungeon drops item level 278 gear, and it's pretty much a pushover right now, so it's almost free 278 gear, which will be great for all of the alts and your evokers to help get them better gear before Dragonflight launches. This is also a perfect time to get your alts leveled up too and caught up so they're ready to go for Dragonflight's launch. The big leveling and experience changes just came through, which includes a massive 75% reduction for the 50 to 60 portion of your leveling adventures. Experience requirements for lower levels were switched around a bit, so some parts are faster and some parts are slower than they were, but that last leg of the process, that 50 to 60 part, will be significantly faster than ever before. Most estimates have it at around 2 hours or even faster if you're being efficient with your leveling. If you have a group and you're spamming dungeons, or if you work efficiently and quickly through any quests in any expansion, you're going to zoom through the levels. I think questing will end up faster if you're really rushing, but dungeons are still very quick, and they're also a lot more chill in my opinion, especially if you have a little group of friends to chat the night away with. But no matter what you do, leveling right now is super fast, especially from level 50 to 60. Another cool change is that you don't have to go through Shadowlands if you don't want to. You can pop over to Chromie and change your expansion to level through any option for your 50 to 60 adventures, because Chromie time now goes all the way up to level 60. That also means you can do any dungeons from any expansion too, so if you're just really tired of Shadowlands in general, you can spam dungeons in other expansions, or you can even quest through the other expansions for a very nice change of pace. Now you may be wondering, what about that shiny new event? Can we do any leveling up with that? Well, kind of. There are a lot of monsters, and they do give you some good experience. I was averaging around 1 level every 5 to 10 minutes on my Death Knight who was level 35. It is faster in a group, obviously, so I would definitely recommend grabbing any random folks you come across and just grind your mobs. That's kind of all you can do, it's just really killing monsters. But here's the thing, if it gets too busy, it then becomes a game of tag wars. If you or your group can't tag mobs quickly enough, they all turn grey, you don't get any credit, you don't get any experience, which obviously makes the entire thing pointless. Now you can get some good experience when the big events are active, both by killing the monsters and from the boss itself, but these events don't pop up too often, and they probably aren't worth waiting for if all you want to do is level. They're mainly a better source of the event currency and event-specific item rewards. Now there are some quests related to the event, the intro story quests, as well as some quests directly related to taking part in the event. Those quests do reward a nice chunk of experience. I think it's about 2 to 3 levels worth with everything involved, and they're very quick to complete, so that's more or less some free experience right there. One of the quests to collect motes from the invasions, that's also a daily, so you can do that every day if you really want to. I guess the currency gains will be nice, but the XP for time spent isn't that ideal. Apart from that, it's all about grinding mobs, so if that's not all too interesting, then there isn't much leveling to be done with the new event. Personally, I'll stick to dungeon spamming. It's fast, it's easy, and I enjoy it the most. Remember that we do still have quite a few experience boosts and buffs to make use of. Until the 27th of November, the WoW Anniversary event will provide you with an 18% bonus to your experience gains, so be sure to pop by a mailbox and open that package to use your experience boost on any ult you're wanting to level. That is a big bonus that you want to take full advantage of. Then we also have the War Mode bonus for any outdoor world experience gains, so this is a great option if you're doing quests especially, or even trying to grind through the new events in pre-patch. And if you really want to push your XP gains, there's also the Battle for Azeroth experience potions, which should still work up to level 50. You can get those from the Service Medal Quartermasters in your respective BFA zones, but they do cost a currency from the BFA expansion. So if you don't have any service medals, they could be annoying to get your hands on, and potentially not worth it with leveling being so quick already. Now there is an interesting update related to leveling that you might not know about. Heirloom gear has been completely rescaled, so its item level will be quite a bit higher when compared to questing or dungeon rewards. Previously it was kind of the same, if not lower than typical rewards, which meant the only real advantage of using heirloom gear for the longest time was the simple fact that you didn't have to worry about gear replacement while leveling. But in general, heirlooms have been incredibly weak as leveling gear ever since the big changes back in Battle for Azeroth. Now that pre-patch is here, heirlooms are now more powerful when compared to standard gear options while leveling, so you can actually use heirlooms again without feeling like there's some kind of min-maxing potential that you're missing out on. Heirlooms will be some of the best gear available for leveling no matter what, especially in the lower levels, which also makes them worth the investment once again. So if you haven't been using your heirlooms for whatever reason, it's probably time to dust them off for any pre-patch leveling adventures. When your alts are all leveled up, you can also make use of the other activities and events going on right now to get them some useful gear upgrades without too much effort. You've got the event vendor with 252 gear, the events themselves can also drop the 252 gear, and then the new Alderman dungeon drops item level 278 gear, so there's some quick and easy gearing options that will only be available for the next 2 weeks, but we also have every other source of gear currently available in Shadowlands, like crafted gear on the auction house, dungeon and mythic plus dungeon gear, PvP gearing options, as well as the raid. All of that is still there and available for you to play, so you should be able to start Dragonflight with a decent item level to speed up the leveling process in the Dragon Isles. And then the last thing I would recommend you do during Phase 2 of the pre-patch is to check out the Twitch drops that are available. These drops are actually very interesting and arguably quite valuable, so I would definitely look into it, especially considering that it's super easy to get these rewards. Now there are 2 main things that you need to do. You need to link your Twitch account to your Battle.net account, and then you need to watch a certain number of hours of a WoW stream that has drops enabled. To do this super easily, pop on over to Twitch, click on the WoW directory, find a stream that says drops are on. Most of them will include it in the title because they want to take advantage of the extra viewership. When you've found one that you want to watch, make sure you can see the chat on the right hand side. At the top of that chat window, you should see a notification little pop-up thing that says Twitch drops. You can get a dragon kite pet, or whatever the current drop happens to be. Click on that notification and click on view details. That's going to bring up the exact drop campaign that's currently active. This drops window shows you what else you might need to do. Towards the bottom of it, you can see connection. I've already connected my Twitch and Battle.net, so I'm good to go. If you aren't connected, you'll see a button that says connect instead. Click on that and it will bring you over to Battle.net. You probably need to log in. It will take you to the connections page on Battle.net. Find the Twitch.tv option, click connect. You'll get sent back over to Twitch, authorize that connection, and then you should be good to go. When you refresh the drop page on Twitch, it should say connected, which means you're all set up. If you then click on the inventory tab towards the top, all you have to do is accrue that watch time right there. It'll give you a percentage. When that percentage reaches 100, it'll let you claim your item, and then you're good. As for which stream to go for, it's completely up to you. You don't even really need to watch them if you don't want to. Just set it off, mute it if you really don't want to pay attention, and let it run until the drop is unlocked. Personally, I would recommend you take this opportunity to see if there are any streamers that you might actually enjoy. You never know, you might just find a brand new community to enjoy the game with. The current drop is the Dragonflight Pet. That one's going to take 4 hours, I believe. The next one is the Fell Drake Mount. That one starts a little bit later on. I'll have these dates on screen for you. And then the last one is the Purple Firework Toy. Now, these are only available in specific date windows, so if you want them, be sure you're paying attention and go over to Twitch and get everything connected so you're ready to go when these drops do start. But overall, I think this is a really good idea. There are quite a few rewards to look forward to, and hopefully you can find a good stream to watch during all of this. But that's everything I would recommend you get done or work on during Phase 2 of Prepatch. What are you going to focus on specifically? Maybe getting those ults leveled up and geared up ready for Dragonflight? Or maybe collecting all of that shiny transmog gear from the event vendor? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you'd like to add your name to the end of every video with a special shout out at the start of the next video, you can find links in the description over to Patreon or click the join button just below this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I'll see you next time.